Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome to our today's class. And today we are going to explain to you the differences between the present simple and the continuous present tense.
First of all, it's very important to remember that the present simple is used to talk about daily routine, permanent situations, general truths, and timetables or schedules.
When we talk about the daily routines or the habits, we have different adverbs that we can use. For example, we have number one, I usually get to school by bus. Also, you can express it. I have tennis lessons on Thursdays. Number three, they always drive to school. And number four, she never eats meat.
Here, the time expressions that we are going to use are the adverbs of frequency. Here, we are going to have always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, and never.
In this regard, we're gonna have different types of usages. In the first place, we have the usage that actually shows the permanent situations. For example, we have sentences like, my dad works in an office. Number two, I am a student.
Then we are going to have the general truths. General truths are things that we cannot change. In this case, we are going to have the sun rises from the east, or it is always cold in the Arctic.
In continuation, we have the next usage, which is the use of the timetables and the schedules. For example, we have sentences like this. Number one, the airplane leaves from Cartagena at 8 o'clock and arrives in Bogota at 10 o'clock. Number two, the Transmillennium departs in 10 minutes. And number three, my English class starts at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Here we are going to have the different structures for I, you, we, and they. It is very important to remember that in this case we are going to use the auxiliary do. First, we are going to have the affirmative form. In the affirmative form, first we are going to have the subject, then we are going to have the verb into the infinitive form, and then we are going to have the complement. One example of it is I study English every night. Another one, you work in this office. Number three, we exercise on weekdays. And the last one, they watch TV in the day. The next one is going to be the use of the negative form. In this case, we are going to start using the auxiliary don't. So, in this case, we're going to have the subject, the auxiliary don't, the verb into the infinitive form, and then the complement. For example, I don't study English, or you don't work in this office. The last structure that we are going to study in this part is going to be the interrogative. In this case, we are going to have the auxiliary first, then the subject, the verb into the infinitive form, and the complement. For example, do you exercise a lot? The answer would be yes, I do, or no, I don't. There you can have other two examples to practice.
In this case, we are going to see now what is the structure for the affirmative. In this regard, we are going to see the usages of the then person singular, which is he, she, or it, normally for the animals or the objects. Therefore, in this affirmative part, we have sentences actually that at times may end, the verbs may end with s or es or ies. For example, we have the first sentence. Carol leaves home at 8:15 a.m. Number two, she starts work at 9 p.m. And number three, she finishes work at 5 p.m. Therefore, in this case, we can see there are some spelling rules and actually correspond with different examples. For example, for most verbs that and you have to and as, we have verbs like loves, likes. But then in the verbs that end in ch or sh, we have examples like watches or finishes. Verbs ending in consonant plus y, that gives actually the addition of ies. In this case, we have verbs like study, which comes to be studies. And finally, we have some irregular verbs, go and do, which takes the form of goes and does.
Here we are going to have the structure for the negative and the interrogative forms. Into the negative form, it's very important to remember that we are going to have the auxiliary thus. As it is negative, we are going to use doesn't. She doesn't like to wash the dishes. He doesn't watch TV after dinner, or my computer doesn't work. Please take into account that in this case the verb doesn't need the s. Why? Because as we already have here the auxiliary, you don't need to use the s in the verb. Then it's going to happen exactly the same with the interrogative form. In this case, we're going to have the auxiliary does, then we're going to have the subject, the infinitive form of the verb, and the complement. As you can notice in this case, we're going to have exactly the same case as we used to have in the negative form. Does he exercise a lot? The answer would be yes, he does, or no, he doesn't. Very important to notice, we can never say, does he exercises a lot? That is not correct. So please here, you can read the following examples. Does she go to the gym? Or does the TV work?
Then let's now try to do a bit of practice in this case. Therefore, our practice will be based on the identification of the mistakes that could be in these sentences. Therefore, let each one of you try to find the mistakes that could be in each one of the given sentences.
Please stop the video and start working on your notebooks. Here we are going to have the answers. For example, in the first one, the correct sentence is, does he like basketball?
And number 2 is, the film finishes at 8.
Number 3, my friend goes on holiday next week.
Number 4 is, she carries her little sister to the car in the morning.
The next one, Angelina Jolie acts in a lot of movies.
Now, the next one, we play in the garden at break.
The following one is, I like eating pizza.
And the last one is, she does her homework at home. In this case, you'll find that in the sentence, Angelina Jolie acts in a lot of movies. We have used the word movies because movie is the same case as films.
Here we are going to have the present continuous. Remember, the present continuous is used for actions happening right now, temporary actions, or for plans and future arrangements.
Therefore, for the actions that are happening now, we have examples like, look, the dog is chasing the cat. Number 2, you are learning English now. Number 3, I'm not swimming right now. And number 4, she is not learning French.
In this case, we are going to have certain time expressions such as now, right now, or at the moment.
Next, we have other cases of what we call the temporary situations. We have examples like, Angela usually goes ice skating at the weekends. This week, she isn't going because she broke her leg. Number 2, normally my class starts at 8 o'clock, but today I'm sick, so I'm staying at home.
In this case, we call temporary situations because, as you can observe, are certain situations that do not take place every single day. That's why here we are going to have our time expressions, such as this week, this month, this year, tonight, etc.
And the last part, we have other expressions that are based on the future plans and future arrangements. For example, we have number one, we are flying to New York tomorrow.
I'm meeting some friends after work.
And the last one, I'm not going to the party tonight.
And here we're going to have certain time expressions. Next month, next year, next week, today or tonight.
And after that one, we are going to find the different structures that we have for the affirmative, for the negative, and for the interrogative. We're going to find that in the first part of affirmative, we have the subject in the first place, then the verb to be, and after the verb to be, we have the main verb that is joined with the ing form, or what we call the gerund form, plus the complement. In this case, our first sentence will be, I am studying English. In this case, am is the verb to be, studying is the gerund form of the combination of study plus ing plus English, which is our complement. And for our second sentence will be, you are working in this office. Number 3, we are exercising on weekdays. And number 4, they are watching TV. In the negative form, we are going to see that the structure is more or less the same. We are first for the subject plus verb to be, the gerund form, and the complement. Examples. Number 1, I am not studying English. Number 2, you are not working in this office. And the following examples. And finally, we have the interrogative form, whereby you come to see that our first part starts with the verb to be, and then is followed by the subject, the gerund form, plus the complement. Example number 1 is, are you studying English? Number 2, are they working in this office? And then you continue the next row of the examples.
Here, it's very important to know that we are going to have certain exceptions. We cannot use the following verbs with present continuous. Love, hate, like, know, understand,
Want, need, prefer, believe, remember.
In this case, remember that, for example, you cannot say, I am loving you. You just need to say, I love you. And you can develop exactly the same thing with the following verbs.
In this case, let's try to complete the exercise using the present continuous tense.
Please stop the video and start working on your notebooks.
And then the examples we have to answer. Number 1, the answer is, I am watching a reality show on TV.
Number 2, my favorite team is winning.
3, someone is swimming in the sea.
Number 4, 2 people are cooking dinner on the beach.
Number 5, we are not watching or aren't watching a soap opera.
And the last one, I'm not doing or I'm not doing my homework.
Remember, we have some things that we need to take care, especially when it talks about the present simple and the present continuous tense. For example, in the present simple, we need to know that it takes place in the habits or daily routines, permanent situations, general truths, timetables, and schedules. In the present continuous tense, it applies when you want to talk about the actions happening now, temporary situations, and plans and future arrangements.
Just to finish, please try to complete the following exercises using the present continuous or the present simple. Please stop the video and start working on your notebooks.
And the answers for that one, we have examples. A, Richard always get up. Will be, always gets up before 7 a.m.
Letter B, hurry up, the bus is waiting for us.
C, where are we going? This is the wrong road.
Letter D, my friends don't believe my story.
E, please be quiet, I'm reading a very interesting book.
And the last one, does Susan like horror films? Thank you very much, and here you can contact us. Idiomas@unbosque.edu.co. Thank you very much for watching.